Good morning, chicos. Good morning, sixth graders. Welcome to the lesson one. Hello, happy new year. Today we are going to see the lesson one, and it's amazing because we are going to start again with the information of the book. Before to start, I want to tell you how we are going to evaluate this unit. Super easy. We are going to evaluate 5 lessons, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, with the classwork. Okay, we are going to see 9 lessons, 9, but we are going to evaluate only 5. We are going to make a quiz of 15 points, and in this case, this time we are going to change every Friday. Probably the first class is going to be video lesson. The second class is going to be probably is going to be meet, and the third class is going to be the day that you have to present the lesson one. So I'm going to give you 1 lesson per week, 1 classwork per week, and you have to present it in the third class, Friday. Do you understand? You're going to upload the classwork this day, probably the third one, and Mr. Marvin is going to post gaming or video related with the lesson this day. So this day is going to be like relax. Sometimes if it's necessary, we are going to have a meet, but meet is going to be the second class. Okay, today video lesson we are going to start. The topic is communities of life. Communities of life. All livings. The question is, the topic is the cells, right? You have to read this lesson. We are talking about the cells. So if you see here, we have all living organisms are made of cells. Trees, mushrooms, mammals, or insects, they are alive because cells are doing the work necessary to keep them living. Cells are building blocks of life. Pay attention to this part. In a way, every plant and animal is a thriving community of individual living cells. So our body have a cell. We have in each one, the cell has components, right? Earth's largest organisms, we can have the human, we can have trillions or billions of cells. So each cell is born, lives its life, and dies. Cells digest food. Pay attention to this part. Cells digest food, use oxygen, produce waste, and have the ability to reproduce. In fact, the first life form to appear on each were individual cells floating in the prehistoric oceans. Eventually, these cells began working together as groups instead of alone, and Earth's organisms became bigger and more complex. Very good. Okay? So, the second slide's talking about practically the same, and the most important part is that each still has plenty of single cell organisms, bacteria for example. But the plants and animals you are most familiar with contains trillions trillions of cells. The cells aren't or are not all exactly the same. Through cells involved that perform specialized tasks inside each organism. The human body contains trillions, no millions, no billions, trillions of cells, but they can be divided into a couple of hundred different categories based on their functions. For example, the red blood cell. The red blood cells carry oxygen to the other cells in the body. Okay, it's important. Neurons, right, carry electrical messages back and forth between the brain and other areas. Muscles cells have the ability to contract, which give the body movement. So what else in this cell, in the third slide, we can read that like organisms inside your body, plants and animal cells contain tiny organelles, right? So plants and animal cells are similar, but there are two big differences between them. First, animal cells are enclosed in a soft cell membranes that allows them and take many different shapes. So plants have a soft cell membrane too, but it's surrounded by a stiff cell wall. This is the difference between the membranes of every cell. Well, 1% protects the cells inside it. So in here, warriors, we have the example of one cell. Like plastids are organelles that contain chlorophyll, which helps the cell produce food during photosynthesis and gives plants their green color. This is one example. Okay, look, with the lysosome, nucleus, mitochondrion, all of these. Nucleus is the center, the outer part, and if you see, we have internal and external part of the cell. So you're going to draw this in your notebook. It's important with the parts. You're going to draw it as a classwork, painted, beautiful. You're going to send it to me. Okay, so circle the letter of the best answer to each question below. Single cell organisms were the first life form of the planet. Again, single cells organisms. You have to write your name, please, in here. When you send a picture, people, write your name in this area. Okay, single cells organisms, option A, were the first life form on the planet. Became extinct soon after more complex organisms evolved. Cannot exist on Earth unless they are part of large groups. All of the above. Which of these is the answer? You're going to choose it. Number 2, the author compares a cell's nucleus to what organ in a human body? The heart, the red blood cells, the brain, or lungs? Super easy. Nambe, mister, this is super easy, you're going to say. And the third question, I didn't put it, I caught it. You have it, right, in your book. You can look for it. But the question is in here, if you see, how many cells we have in the human body. So the human body contains trillions of cells. The cells that make up an organism must complete to survive. Each human being began in single cell. Cells inside your body are living, reproducing, and dying all the time. I think it's the human body contains trillions of cells. Bueno, the next meet we are going to define the question because Mr. Marvin caught it, but you have it in your book, okay? And in the end of this part, we have the question 4. Given one example of a specific type of cell in the human body. How are plant cells and animal cells similar? Are similar, obviously, to remember the part that is important. How are plant cells and animal cells different? Right? In the reading, you have it. So, this is all the questions that you have to answer in the lesson 1. The next Friday, you're going to have the day to upload. You can do it today, right? But Mr. Marvin is going to give limit per classwork per week, okay? Because you need to move it and do your job. Love you so much and see you. I want to see you. So excited to see your face and talk with you a little bit the next meet. Bye.